What are you buying me? I'll not wear one of them. We got down at the Macedonian Square, which is like the proper tourist point of the city. We were walking by and we came across this. Like I had read about it. This is Mother Teresa's house, which is now converted into a museum. So we'll go inside and check out. I was like educated in a Christian school, so I know about Mother Teresa. Like she apparently contributed to the Indian society's well-being to help people, sick people get well, and also Yugoslavia. As like I read it about when I was a kid, that Yugoslavia was the birthplace about Mother Teresa. So when I first found out that it's actually Skopje, I was little confused because is a different country and North Macedonia is a different country. And then I read about it. So Yugoslavia was split into, if I'm not wrong, 7 different countries, including North Macedonia and few other like Balkan countries. If you see like the big dogs at loose, don't be scared. They are actually stray dogs but also monitored, so you can see a lot of dogs and cats. I'll just show you one here. So yes, it's such a huge one. Looks scary but it's actually very sweet. And one more fact about North Macedonia is it is called the Jerusalem of Balkans. I'll tell you why. Because there are around 40% Muslims here. The last statistics that I know was 40% Muslims and 60% Christians, and they coexist very beautifully. Like I've heard there are certain properties from Muslim community that is gifted to the Christianity and the Christian community that is gifted to the Muslims, and so on. The communities are peaceful as far as what I know. I'm not really sure about how exactly the day-to-day thing works here. We just finished the Mother Teresa Museum, and right beside it stands tall and beautiful the Church of Constantine and Elena. It actually has a golden roof, so from afar it looks very beautiful. Right now I'm unable to show that to you because I'm standing like really close by. But let's go inside and see how this looks like. We couldn't do the church of Constantine and Elena because it's closed. It's already late right now. But yeah, they are very close by, and also it is like 2 minutes away from the Macedonian Square. And also the Macedonian Arc, that's also right here, like just 400 to 500 meters away. So a lot of these activities can be covered like very quickly, and probably for the next half of the day one should save it for the old bazaar. In 1960s around, like the city got hit with a very huge magnitude of earthquake which destroyed the whole city on one end. And like after that point they received a lot of international funds to help build the city again, and like a lot of people had lost their jobs, so they decided to make it touristy. So there are around 265 statues here in Skopje. We'll see them now. They are on the art bridge. Once, like, you have to cross the bridge and then there is Old Bazaar. Old Bazaar is the only place that survived the earthquake, and it looks really opposite of what it is right now, what the other part of Skopje is right now. This part of Skopje is more of the European style. They've tried to make it more modern, but that side it's more raw, it's more grounding, and also you see a lot of locals there. So yeah, let's go and check out that. Probably we'll do it tomorrow. Now you can see we are heading towards the Macedonian Square. This is the statue of Alexander the Great. So yes, they believe that he was from here, but I also heard he was from like the Greece also, and from around the region. He ruled everywhere. But yes, they do believe that he is from this place. And this is what we have covered so far. Oh, they are trying to pretend to be something. For example, see, they're trying to build something again. There are already a lot of statues, but they are building more and more and more and more because they want to attract a lot of tourists. But yeah, what works for them works for them. Now we can see the Millennium Cross. It's actually very huge, it's very far. I'm showing from the 4 times zoom mode and it still looks magnificent. So makes sense that it's one of the biggest in Europe. Also, we are still standing at the Macedonian Square, and there are a lot of statues here. This is the old bridge. You have to cross this bridge to go to the old bazaar. We'll be going now. But also water, yeah, river as well. So this is Vardar River or Vardar, something like that. So it's the river name. There are 3 bridges. All 3 are very close by. In the map it shows like at some distance, but they are very close. And also water side, it's so nice to just walk by. We are walking towards the art bridge. It has a lot of statues on it, and all of them are like the famous figures from this region, heroic, like poets, and artists, and also warriors. So all of them are on that bridge, but there are many. See, you can see. I heard there are around 250 plus statues in whole of Macedonia. They are everywhere. If this is how they have invested their money to attract tourists, then it totally makes sense. Why not? Right beside the art bridge, you also find this pirate boat. Looks very ancient, and they have depicted it to show their ancient history, but in actually it doesn't move, it doesn't go through the bridges. It is just like a beautiful piece of art. Like all other art pieces, but
there is
yeah,
another one there.
yeah, there's one more right behind it. Yeah, there's one more behind. There are here statues here also. So there are statues here also on the other sides. And once we cross this, now we are walking towards Old Bazaar. The end of Old Bazaar is called Bit Bazaar, which is, and over there you also have this very famous mosque that I was talking about yesterday, that is Mustafa Pasha. So it's very famous mosque. There is also a hammam. So you can go check it out, but hammam is not functional now. It is only for like visits. But we'll not be going to Bit Bazaar today. But if you are here for longer time, go to that place, because that's like where you find more locals and it is more raw. And North Macedonia is also like an agricultural land. So the produce that they have are really good, like the vegetables. And they sell like chilies, paprika. So all of them are like really good, and you experience proper culture over there. Today, like, let's just go. As the lady, she visited India during Sonia Gandhi's time, and yeah, so she was invited there for the parliament, and she also is like a lot into Gandhiji's books. So she was telling us how and what her connection with India was. She was really sweet. Just yesterday I was thinking how travel has trickled down just to... she's still here. Nice lady. Yeah, so I was saying that how travel has trickled down just to, doing the checklist and not actually meeting locals. So when she met, it felt like a complete story to a trip. It looks good, no? It looks so different from the outside of the city. This part looks so European. Once you go out of this region, then it starts looking more Balkan. Yeah. We are just entering Old Bazaar, and the distinction is so clear. This is where the new city ends, and you can see the roads. The new city ends and the Old Bazaar starts. Can you see the tiles here? It's completely different as to the new city. This is what I was talking about, a clear distinction. Crazy. It's everywhere once you enter, and you can get good fridge magnets for around €1. Don't take immediately as you find the first shop, because there are many. See over here, it looks like Jhatri. They have crazy ice cream flavors. Tutti frutti. It is such a different vibe, such a different culture. By the way, you'll also see a lot of gold shops. This is all like real gold. It's not like the gold plated, because these people have a culture of gifting gold when somebody is born or somebody is married. For every big milestone, they gift gold. That's why you'll see a lot of gold shops also. It is such a different culture. I would have missed this so much if I hadn't come to this side of the town. That is nothing. You will actually enjoy on the other side, because this is so rare in the Europe, right? When you make trips from Europe, if you are living here in Germany like us, then I think coming to such trips is so rare. These are like the proper authentic old shops, dessert shops, and they have all the Turkish sweets, Albanian sweets, halwas. I think this is tiramisu, or this could be the pudding. We'll check that out. But this is also very North Macedonian. So let's go and eat them. Part one of these. This is like proper Macedonian. It's called parachute. Maybe it was meant something in the earlier days, but since a lot of tourists eat it now, it's called parachute. It's filled with, I think it's very high quality cookie, which is filled with vanilla cream. So let's taste. Yeah, it is very fragile, very soft. Let's taste this now. It is so cloudy, nutty. It has so much almond flavor. But walnut, you eat with walnut. Yeah, it's so nutty. It's with walnut. Yeah. There are many touristy gimmicks also, so be careful. But we did try like free exotic Turkish tea with Turkish delight. I didn't eat, he ate, and he says it's nice. How was it?
We have had the Turkish delight before.
Yeah.
So you could never go wrong with desserts. I think they are always good.
Yeah, but it looks very fancy and nice.
Yeah.
The tea was really good, and it's not with sugar. They had like the real stevia with them. So they added the stevia leaves. They also gave it to try, and stevia leaves were slightly sweetish. So yeah, good. So far so good. We should be ideally going back, but does not feel like. It's so nice. You just want to walk. Such a different culture. You just want to explore. Selling like salted peanuts and a lot of snacks is a culture here. Hello.
Hello. India.
India.
Very good thing.
Okay.
Good.
All the shopkeepers are so like warm. They just invite you in.
India too.
Wow. He's saying that all the dresses are here imported from India only. I asked him if many Indians come. He said they are from India. So, yeah, very kind person. Looks like a mini Dubai with all these gold shops around. And we just bought a simit now. We are supposed to eat a burek, but we are still trying to figure out a good shop. This is simit. Simit is like a bread. Yeah, and we took a chili flavored simit. There was prayer going on. I didn't tilt the camera because I'm not sure if somebody will take it as an offense. See, stray cats and dogs everywhere. See, there are cats inside also. South Pasha Hammam is like a 15th century hammam, a public bath. But now it's not a bath anymore, it's like a museum. But it's also like very old figure and still sustaining here. So hopefully we'll get to visit. And you can easily, recognize it. It has many tombs. Yeah, this one. And it has like the old architecture of stones. Not able to find the Merkel place. So now the locals are guiding us. We are following them. 3 girls who are asking us to follow them. Hopefully we'll go to the right place. These are the girls whom we are following. They also told us that people were praying outside because there is no place in the mosque. And there are apparently a lot more people than the mosques. So they sit outside and pray. These are called kafana or kefana if I'm not wrong. So these are like really old style social places where people sat down together and enjoyed their coffee. You can look at how exactly it looks. Us, yes, we are like the local tourist, but there are also some locals sitting here. You can see this is the exact street. The small tables, the person sitting beside us is also a local. The small tables, that's where like people sit and enjoy their coffee and some tea with such sweet delights called tres leche. Leche is nothing but the tres leches but reverse engineered. So it so happened that like there were certain shows that became very popular in the Balkan countries, including Albania, North Macedonia, and so on. And these shows, like they were from Latin America, where from which region the tres leches is popular. So when people started seeing these desserts on the shows, chefs just wanted, they were curious and they wanted to try it out. So they reverse engineered it, and eventually they figured out how to make tres leches. So this is proper made of 3 different types of milk. They use in the original tres leches, they use evaporated milk, condensed milk, and also some other type of milk. But here in the Balkans, condensed milk is not so popular. So what these people did is they used goat milk, cow milk, and thank you.
This for
Yes, for me. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Well, yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Ooh. Yeah. Looks strong.
Settle again first.
Yeah, maybe. That's how it is course. Yes, I was saying that so finally people figured out how to make it, but they are using 3 different types of milk, like sheep, goat, and one more. I don't know which one, a cow. And also they, like what I know is they don't use pasteurized milk. So if a pregnant woman is watching this, then please try to refrain from eating these. This could like lead to health issues later, but otherwise anybody else can enjoy this dessert completely enjoyable.